Hi folks, welcome to today's show, and as you can see we have got the new Husqvarna bikes on the channel.
Steve, I'm absolutely buzzing about these bikes. I mean, look at that colourway. You know, that's classic Husqvarna, isn't it? It looks amazing.
It does. I mean, definitely a classic motorcycle colourway, the blue, yellow and white. Yeah. But for myself, having worked outside most of my life, I think it's the brush cutters and the chainsaws. I mean, I do have myself a 356 in the garage, although with a bit of a blunt chain. So for me, it's actually the orange colour, which I associate with Husqvarna. But guys, what do we know about this Swedish company? Well, it was founded in 1869 and it first started off making muskets. And that's what actually the badge is all about. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I can see it now that you said that.
But today it's actually a brand of many companies. As I mentioned, we've got the outdoor power tools, we've got power tools in general. I think they make sewing machines. It's the brand of a football team. And it's also a town in Sweden, but with the Q dropped, Husqvarna. And I got that off Michael Saunders' wife. Really? Isabel, who's Swedish, and she said she's a Husqvarna.
Husqvarna.
No, Husqvarna.
But today, Husqvarna are actually part of a group that runs big names in motorbikes such as Gas and KTM. But today we're taking a look at the bike range that compromises of downhill bikes, enduro bikes, trail bikes, anything with two wheels. Husqvarna pretty much does it.
Did you mean like gravel and cross country as well?
You can have that.
And here are some examples of those bikes. The Extreme Cross, 200mm travel. This is the Mountain Cross, 150mm travel, 29 up front, 27.5 on the rear.
Hard Cross 8, 180mm travel, 27.5 wheels front and rear, bit of a gravity bike, and of course the great hardtail too, the Light Cross 6. So looking forward to getting some hardtail action in too. Yeah, now coming up on the channel in the next few weeks, we'll be doing a head-to-head of these two, the 180mm travel versus the 150. They both come with a Shimano EP8 motor, 630 watt-hour batteries, and all alloy chassis. But you know what, Chris? I think it is really important to look at the heritage of the Husqvarna brand. You know, you look at a lot of mountain bikes these days. Many have been around since the late 1980s, 1990s. Some only been introduced in, you know, the 21st century. But as I mentioned, Husqvarna, they started making firearms back in the 17th century. And then there was, what, kitchen equipment? Kitchen equipment back in 1874. Motorbike since 1903. Wow, crikey. Well, if you want to go down that route, the first bicycle from Husqvarna, 1896. I think I actually remember seeing a black and white photo of you with one of those Husqvarna bikes. Was it your 15th birthday? It was actually my 16th, and it wasn't a photograph, it was an oil painting. So funny, isn't he? Chris, for me, I think it's the chainsaws. 1959, first chainsaw. But also, if you think about it, they made the first solar-powered lawnmower in 1995. Wow, that is mind-blowing, Steve. He's so sarcastic. Clearly you don't spend that much time in the garden then. It's not high on my list of priorities to be doing mowing the lawn with a solar powered lawnmower. But folks, what is on our priority list is riding the new Husqvarna range, and they do have everything in there for everybody. You've got gravel bikes, cross country bikes, 180 bikes, 150 bikes, and 200mm full on gravity downhill bikes. So tune into the channel in the next few weeks. Me and Chris are going head to head on the hard cross versus the mountain cross. Now, some great comments from you guys on last weekend's beginner amateur pro video, where we had the legendary Jeff C, the man behind that famous YT bike, and Win Masters, the winner of EWS in Rotary in 2017, I do believe. Also, a veteran of World Cup downhill racing. Yeah, and some great comments from you guys. Jimmy Grimshaw is saying, this was the greatest content for the e-bike world. Such true words from Win at the end about how e-bikes bring different riders together. Yeah, like Definitely. Me and you. Where's Carnell? Good to show how e-bikes work for everyone. They really are fun, and let's face it, if you don't enjoy it, you probably won't do it. And then Brian Pope, no kidding, a power bike will help you ride faster and easier. Well, we've got a couple of great entries in this week, Steve, some tech and a big fail from Ian. But first up, I want to start with that tech. Now this is Sam, he's out in Duncan in BC, and he's rigged up an inverter from a solar panel on his van roof for charging up his Marin you know, when he's out and about. He doesn't need to go to anything, you know, anywhere to charge us up. He can simply do it off sun power. Check this out.
Hi, EMBN, Sam here. I'm charging up my Marion. I freaking love that bike. Off my new inverter, which I just put in my van because I've got a big solar panel on the roof. So right now it's just charging off of that guy.
And then of course there's Ian and his Canevo, a regular contributor to EMBN. Ian's been up to his old tricks again, hasn't
it
he?
Looks like he's trying to remove his balls here on a big road gap, get sucked into that back tyre, getting a little bit offline, getting bucked over the handlebars into landing of that jump. Thankfully he was okay and he does ride on, so we'll be looking forward to some more submissions from you, Ian. Keep it up.
No, reel it in, Ian. You reel it in is what you need to be doing, not keeping it up. Time now, folks, for some of your out and about, where in the world images and some absolute beauties this week. Kicking things off this week is Barry. Now, he's had an e-bike gift from his parents, which is going to give him some freedom due to the onset of Parkinson's disease. But a beautiful sunset shot there, Barry, in the hills. And Chris, look at this from Bruno. I see a beautiful blue and yellow Husqvarna.
I do.
In there,
look at that.
Up in the background, which what looked to me like the backside of the Matterhorn.
Matterhorn, I was going to say, it's jutting it up. It looks like something off the Toblerone advert.
Yeah, and then Miha. I love the misty shot here, Miha. It's absolutely beautiful.
It is,
looks pretty high up there.
Moody shot, I love that.
And then beautiful sort of Lakeland mountain backdrop here from John. That's
log holding that bike up. That's e-bike rated for sure.
It's a classic, isn't it? And then more lakeside action here from Frederick with another beautiful sunset. I can't get
You're on the
sunset
shots like I was
today.
last week. Like that.
And then Rob, and of course all about the lakes, isn't it? It's all about the lakes this week.
You're getting up there, yeah.
Yeah, there's Rob's got a beautiful location
way
there.
up on the hills there, look.
And finally, we've got Elliot, and Elliot's out on his Commercell Meta. I'm loving that green on that bike. It's a good look, isn't it?
It is. It stands out for sure, doesn't it?
And some stunning mountain backdrops there. Guys, you know, Chris, I love the where in the world.
I think it's better for me than the bike vault. I think you know, we get to see the bikes, but we get to see the areas that you guys are riding too. So I think it's a standout part for me, the show. Love it for sure.
Yeah, well, we're actually in the Forest of Dean, and as you can see, the beech trees have come out. They are pretty lurid green at this time of year, the old Faga sylvatica. But anyway, guys, keep your submissions coming in to where in the world, out and about, and great, inspirational, truly inspirational. Well guys, it's time for the bike vault from the deep dark woods, and Mark on his Mondraker in South Yorkshire. I love the orange and black on that. Propped up by a tree.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. What are you thinking?
It's a nice.
Nice.
So from Mark and Mondraker to Kev on his Scott, again another tree.
Got a lot of tree action, haven't we, in this week's show, holding those bikes up.
Yeah, I think that's a nice shot. Although it's a beautiful colour. I really like that Scott bike myself.
I'm going to go with super nice for that, Steve.
Super nice, are you? Now Kevin on the Cube.
Whoa,
Kevin
nice.
on the Cube with a shred session. Sorry, because I can't get my sheds out this week. A shred session out in Glen Tress. I think that's a beautiful shot. And Kevin, that is definitely a super nice. As too is Warren on a country run on his All Bear Rise with some bluebells there. That's great. I love the bluebells.
Beat a bluebell shot, can you? They're a bit slippy to ride in though, Steve, I found.
Meanwhile, between the sea and the vines is Claude. On the Specialized Levo SL. Claude, I'm loving the limestone background, I'm loving the sea. It's a place I definitely like to be at the minute, down the coast. Claude, I'm gonna give you super nice. And a bit of urban action here. My Bumblebee, says Roger. Certainly quite a lurid colour on your bike there.
Definitely stands out, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, do you know what? Roger, I'm gonna give that a nice, I think. And meanwhile, Dan is also down on the coast, or is that more of an estuary or more of a lake there?
I don't know, it looks like a bit of
It's a Canevo, and there's a lot of snow in the background. Kind of shivering a bit with that one. But nevertheless, it's a nice shot. It's a little bit sort of a bit shadowy down on that one. This certainly ain't shadowy, it's Marcus, Baker View. Nice bit of, look at that.
Blue sky there.
Is that Mount Baker? Is that Mount Baker in the background? I mean, I'm loving the turquoise with the turquoise sky there, Marcus.
Yeah.
It's definitely a
Some
good
nice colour coding going on there with the grips and the saddle as well. Nice.
Yeah. And this one is from David. First photo for David in the EMBN Bike Vault with the Merida. And I think that shot with that background, yes, it's borderline where in the world. But for me, Chris, I think that's also the bike of the week.
Bike of the week. It was super nice as well, you think?
And it's super nice as well, yeah.
Definitely.
Sure.
Love seeing all those bikes here on the Bike Box, so make sure you use the upload service to get anything to us here on EMBN. Bike Vault, where in the world, you name it, send it in, and you could be on next week's show.
Yeah, and it's now time for me and Chris to head off into the woods on 180mm hard cross and 150mm mountain cross. Let us know what you think of our Husqvarna bikes, and because we'll be using these on the channel from now on, new partner brand, and we're super excited.
Definitely.
If Husqvarna is a new brand for you, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to tune in to that video coming out on the channel next week where we compare these two bikes. So we'll see you then.